This is the set of 100 samples that were taken in figure 6.21. We're going to use this set of 100 samples to demonstrate the meaning of 95% confidence limits. Here we have the mean, standard deviation, and standard error of each of the samples. Here we're going to put the true population mean, or mu, which comes from the original data and is right here. So I'm going to say that that is equal to this value. Now, the t-value for a sample of size 30 is found with equal TINV. The probability is 0.05 because we want 95% confidence limits. A comma, and degrees of freedom is equal to the sample size, which is 30 minus 1, so this will be 29. And the t-value for the 95% confidence limits is 2.045. Now we're going to calculate upper limits, lower limits, and here we're going to determine whether the limits contain mu. That is, do the limits contain the true population value, which is right here. The upper limit will be equal to the mean plus t times the estimate of the standard error, and t will be fixed with an F4 so that we will always be using the same t-value. The lower limit will be equal to the mean minus t, again F4, times the standard error. So these are the two limits within which we expect to find the true population value, 3.7 and 5.2, or 5.3. Now the question we might ask ourselves is, do these limits contain the true population mean? We can find that with an AND statement. Equal and the upper limit is greater than the true mean, fixed with an F4, comma, the lower limit is less than the true mean, fixed with an F4. Now, if this is true, that is, if the true mean is contained within the limits, the result will be true. If not, the result will be false. When I hit enter, I get true. Yes, the true mean is contained within the limits. Now I'm going to take this and drag it all the way across the 100 observations. And as we go back, we can see here is a false. This set of limits, 4.42 and 2.77, does not contain the true population value. Here we're going to see how many of the limits actually contain the true population value with COUNTIF. This range, Control Shift right arrow, that goes all the way to the end. and then comma, and true. And we find that 91 of the limits contain the true population value. This is what is meant by 95% confidence limits. The 91 is 91% of the 100 samples. Ideally, it would be 95%. Why is it not 95%? Because we don't have all possible samples of size 30 that we could take from the population. If we had all possible samples of size 30, this would be exactly 95% of those samples. That is, the true mean would be contained within the upper and lower limits for each sample in 95% of the samples.